Hi, my name is Alan McGinley, an ecosystem architect here at Venafi. I've been invited along to talk about the state of cloud native security, a report and some general results. 75% of security professionals believe the shift to cloud native accelerated their plans or adoptions of zero trust. Personally, I believe that it's a good thing that this has happened. We have complex distributed systems such as microservices, and these mean more endpoints and more scope for lateral movement within a network. Your environment is only as secure as its weakest link, and more links means more potential for exploits. So I think cause for celebration that this has happened. Let's keep accelerating. Also, 88% of respondents believe the concept of machine identity is essential to the success of zero trust models. Well, I thought I'd start by looking or dismantling zero trust for a second here. Let's look at zero trust. There's a few strands to it, but I'll focus on one here, which is this principle of least privilege, and I'll use a real-world example to clarify. Imagine you have a new starter on your team. This is Billy, and Billy gets an identity in the form of a username and password. Do you also give Billy production admin rights on day one? Of course not. You give him no more than he needs for the responsibilities he has today. So keep that in mind whenever you automate your business. Like Billy, your workloads also need an identity, and the same capability restrictions should be in place from day one. It doesn't matter that the code today only attempts to read a database table. If that workload's identity was also capable of dropping the table, then we're only one exploit away from a serious outage. So how much trust should you place in your own deliverables? The answer should always be as close to zero as possible. Not because we don't trust our code today, but because we don't know how it's going to be used against us in the future. So to answer the question, is machine identity essential to the success of zero trust? I would say yes, because it's on the critical path. Without machine identity, the things you automate probably start with no accountability and uncontrolled privilege. Next, 78% of respondents acknowledge that while centralized security teams may develop a zero trust strategy, they're not the ones to implement the controls that enable it. This lack of ownership and enforcement may jeopardize the success of zero trust architecture in cloud native environments. And we might ask, how is that? Well, we don't need to look very far for examples in our industry that prove what we already know. Security failures represent existential threats. This is why security is considered to be a shared responsibility. And if there is a lack of, or a perceived lack of ownership, then that really should be a wake-up call to everyone concerned. 79% of respondents admit that while zero trust is an essential way to approach security in modern distributed environments, it's just too hard to implement. 70% of respondents believe that while the idea of zero trust is logical, its application often isn't. What are some of the reasons why teams find this difficult to implement, and how can Venafi help with this? Well, I would say it doesn't have to be hard. I'd say it's more time consuming than hard, and time is the major limiting factor almost always. But you don't have to boil the ocean with this stuff. You can start by addressing just a handful of its topics, such as multi-factor authentication or image scanning or data encryption. Venafi have a product called Code Sign Protect. This is a software supply chain security offering that could help you get the ball rolling. We need to learn more about the biggest threats and challenges impacting security and IT leaders today. If you want to know more, check out Venafi's full report on the state of cloud native security. Thank you very much.